I want to show you an app that basically lets you quick resume on multiple games. What's up? I had to do this video pretty quickly because there is something absolutely ridiculous on at the minute. Check this out. I've got 1, 2, 3 games running simultaneously. Everything runs absolutely fine. And if you check out my monitor, we are not completely overloaded. I mean, we're a little bit overloaded. There's a bit more to say about that. But watch this. If I go to, say, Hollow Knight, oh, it doesn't work. And that's because I have suspended it with an app for Game Bar. So you can see now it's like, uh-oh, it's not responding. But just wait, just wait. This app, which is a free download, Suspended N Time, lets you manually enable or disable games. So I'm just going to suspend Resident Evil, right? I'm going to just reopen it because for some reason it bugs out a little bit, right? And then I'm going to go to Hollow Knight and hit play. Oh, look. And now I am back in Hollow Knight, just like this. Now, I want you to check this out as well, because what we're doing is completely suspending these games. It's basically quick resume. The game is running. You can see my CPU utilization, my GPU utilization, VRAM. Ignore that for a second. I'm going to come back to discuss that in a minute. But just look at the CPU and GPU utilization, right? If I open up the Suspended N Time widget and then go to Hollow Knight and click that one, bring this back open, you'll see my CPU and GPU utilization has dropped right down. There you go, look, 3% CPU, 1% GPU. And that's because I've just completely, at a system level, stopped the game. I have like paused the processes of this game running so that I can have multiple games open, right? So I can just open up this, and you can still see I've got Doom running, or it's not running even. I've got Resident Evil 4 and Hollow Knight. So let's unsuspend Doom. Then I'm going to go to Doom the Dark Ages and hit resume. Here we go. Now we are in the game. I can play this game and run it as I would do without having the other games running in the background, just annihilating my performance, right? This is pretty revolutionary because it is basically quick resume. If I open this up again, you'll see that my CPU and GPU utilization ramps up because I'm playing one game, just the one, but I do have those other games open in the background. Now, this is really, really cool. It's a very, very easy to use app. This works on anything that's using Game Bar, basically. I'm using my Legion Go 2 here. I do have Xbox full screen experience installed on it, right? So I do have this, and this will equally work on the Xbox Allies and anything else that's running Xbox full screen experience or just Xbox Game Bar, right? That's all we need to know. So I'm going to load up Game Bar just here. What you need to do is go all the way over to the widget store. You're going to scroll down on the browse window until you see this, Suspended N Time, and you're just going to install it. It is free, and I'll show you what you can do here. So once you've got it installed, right, bring up your Game Bar, scroll all the way across to the very end here where it says widgets, and you're going to go down and find it. So Suspended N Time, just there. That's then going to open its own like widget area just here, right? So what I've got now is everything that's running or not running, okay? And I can enable or disable it. So you can see stuff says suspended. So Hollow Knight is suspended, Resident Evil suspended. You've got settings. So you've got suspend before sleep. So if you put your system into sleep mode, it will just suspend it for you before it goes into sleep. That is wicked. You've also got suspend on focus change. Now for me, this is buggy. It didn't really work because anything that's not in view on your screen just immediately gets suspended, and it kind of balked my Xbox full screen experience. I couldn't really do the whole like swipe up thing because it was just constantly trying to close everything. But you know, maybe that gets improved over time. I found it best to just run this without that. So I chose no, don't suspend on focus change. Let me manually do it via this little menu, right? Then you've got the power option action. I always recommend hibernate, but you can choose sleep if you want. Hibernate, you know, is just better. And then you've got two more. You've got enhanced sleep, which optimizes modern sleep power policies for handhelds. wicked. Then you've got re-sleep automatically. Now this is a big one, and if I'm honest, I'm not going to trust this app fully, but this option sounds cool. So re-sleep automatically. Send device back to sleep if woken up for any reason other than the power button. So if you put your device into sleep and put it in a case, there's a huge chance that the device will turn on. It will then just start overheating in your case and absolutely damage your device because there's no airflow, right? What this aims to do is when it turns on in your bag, when you're not noticing it, it will just go, hang on a second, the power button wasn't pressed, so I'm just going to turn it off again and put it back into sleep mode, which is wicked. It's really, really cool. I still wouldn't recommend it. I would still just recommend moving your power button action to hibernate because that will completely fix that issue. So yeah, I'd just recommend that. But if you are someone that uses sleep for whatever reason, then at least you've got a bit of extra safety just there with that re-sleep automatically option just here. That's it. That is this app. Really easy to use. It is a little bit janky. So, you know, like Doom right now, I'm going to hit, okay, like suspend that. Cool. Now I have to close the game bar menu, and then sometimes my carousel button doesn't work, as you can see right now, so I have to swipe up from the bottom, and then I can go to whatever else, or I can go across all the way to here and then choose which game I want to unsuspend. So let's go Silksong. Now I'm going to have to close that down, and then I'm going to go, oh, okay, there's Silksong, open it, right? Give it a second, and then it works, and now you can play your game. Now it will come up once they're suspended, right? So let's go back to another game, to this one. Look, it just didn't work, right? So I tried to open Doom, and it's like, nope, and now my button for carousel doesn't work. And if I swipe up and go to Resident Evil, it's like, nah, there's nothing there, mate, because I have suspended it via this. Now, this isn't a one solution to rule them all because of the VRAM usage. So you can't just have infinite games. So you can run multiple games, but you'll see that my VRAM now is at 95% because whilst it kills the processes for the games and completely saves on your CPU and GPU utilization, the games are still in your VRAM. That's just how it works. You can't get around that without completely shutting down your game. So just be aware, you can't have 15 games open. Who's playing 15 games at a time? I don't know. But you can't have loads of games open. This is not a full quick resume by any means, but it's a one step closer to the goal, right? It at least gives you an option if you are. So for me, let's take a AAA game like Resident Evil 4, let's say. Maybe I've been playing that a while and I just want to break and I want to play a 2D game like Silksong, right? Well, this gives me the option of doing that without shutting the games down entirely, reopening another game, shutting that down and reopening the previous game again. I can just go in here and go suspend that one, open the other one, and let's play that for a bit, put it down, whatever, you know? I think it's a really, really cool addition to Xbox Game Bar, and these widgets that are coming out are really, really cool. But it's not a be-all and end-all solution because that VRAM is your limit. Once you max that out, you know, stuff's going to start performing badly, and you can't just have multiple games open. But I do think this is really, really cool. It is the right direction, but like I said, it's a little bit janky, but it works. It actually works. So let's just quickly go to the Xbox bit here, right? So when you go to open another game, I don't know, let's just go Keeper. Let's open that and hit play. It's going to give you this. Look, Hollow Knight's still running. Do you want to launch anyway? So you'd just say, yeah, launch anyway, right? And then you would go and open your Suspended in Time and go and pause Hollow Knight. And that is now just suspended Hollow Knight. So everything's now suspended other than Keeper, which is running. So if I open up this, somewhere along here should be Keeper. There it is. And the game's just trying to launch there. So in my opinion, this is basically as close as we're going to get to quick resume on these handhelds until Microsoft pull their finger out and actually make a proper solution, which I just don't think is going to be viable. But I really hope that whoever made the Suspended in Time widget just keeps developing it, makes it a little bit, you know, easier to use. I mean, it's really easy to use. I just mean it's just a little bit janky, but it's cool. It's great. Just bear in mind that you're going to have the VRAM limitations. But if you want to kill your processors or have a bit more safety in your bag using your device in sleep mode, then this is certainly the way to go about it.